This is Church of Uganda Family TV, enriching lives, regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission.
Do it. Yes, and a very good, beautiful morning. It is a coffee break conversation, and a lot it is happening in Kampala, different parts of the districts in Uganda. As we speak about the elections, only 5 days are remaining to see that we elect leaders of integrity, choices, of course, from the citizens. Whom are you electing by that day? Or to remind you that ensure that you keep peace, unity, and oneness is the most important thing. Yes. Many political parties are doing what they're supposed to do. The NRM government, talk about the NUP, the FDC, and so many others are ensuring that they mobilize many thousands of people to see that they turn up on that different polling stations on the 15th, which is next week. And today's conversation, we're looking at governing choices, stakeholders, and citizen views ahead of the elections. This conversation talks about governance, talk about the leadership, talk about the choices, and the public accountability, which is increasingly becoming so much important. And today's conversation, we are joined by Mr. Slate Gamukama to reflect on how governing decisions are made. It's really important, and the role of stakeholders and how citizens' voices shape priorities in an election period. And to remind you that the discussion looks beyond the campaign, however the campaigns are going to be. We get deeper into that to ensure that we explore the real choices of leaders they face and what they mean for the future of the governance. And a very beautiful morning to you, Mr. Slay. Thank you for joining us.
It's a pleasure.
Once again in this coffee break conversation.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure once again to be here.
Yeah.
Yes, I want to thank the Almighty God and also to thank Family TV and all the viewers for always being here.
Amen.
Thank you.
We last had you last year in 2025, and we're still looking at the election period. They say this was the same conversation we had. Yes. So how are you preparing for this one?
First and foremost, my name is Gamukama Sulait. I am the Chief Executive Officer or Executive Director of Neurolead, which is a psychology and human resource consultants firm. We are in a very critical point for our nation. It's like right now as we speak, the emotions are very high. Everyone is preparing for the long-awaited day.
Yes.
So this topic is very important, especially about governance and the stakeholders. What is their view? So I believe that as we are heading for these elections, it's very important for the key players to understand what is supposed to be done in order to have a peaceful election, but also for the citizens to be able to benefit. It should be noted that it is not only politicians who determine the governance structure. It is also the participants, the voters. They also contribute very much upon the governance. So as a society, it is always said that leaders are just a reflection of the people they lead. So the people, us who are going to participate in this election, we are going to play a very major part because we are going to determine the type of leaders that we are going to have. So I believe that at this point in time, it is the critical moment whereby people should go beyond slogans at this moment and now focus on ideas and ideologies that these people carry. The kind of Uganda that they want is going to be shaped next week on Thursday and beyond. So I believe that the governance and the governance structure that we want to see is going to be determined. And also the stakeholders. We have a lot of stakeholders in this. We have got stakeholders, for example, from the Electoral Commission, which is the body that is in charge of these elections. So, of course, as citizens, the stakeholders, we expect the Electoral Commission to play an integral part to make sure that it conducts a free and fair election. That is one of the major aspects as stakeholders that we are looking at. We are also looking at media. Media is also a very important aspect in these elections as we move forward, just like what is being here to sensitize the public about peaceful participation in these elections. And also we are looking at the voters ourselves. We need to also understand that this is the time to decide the kind of Uganda that you want to see. As stakeholders, as voters, we are going into these elections, but stakeholders will also have our expectations at this important point of view. So if you've been looking at the 70% youth in Uganda who are unemployed, because we have the majority of the youth in this country, and we have two types of people. We have the youth and the women. The majority of the people in this country are the youth, 70%, if not 75%, plus also the women. So these two categories, they must make a decision of their life, because if you say we are unemployed, this is the time to put that unemployment, to bring in a governance structure, to bring in leadership that is going to bring an end to unemployment. When you look at also the women, if you're looking at women rights, women emancipation and all that, then we also look at the things to do with job security for the professionals. How are you going to secure that kind of job that you have, or even better? Look at the taxes and so many other things. So as we head in this election, people are looking at unemployment. Of course, they need leaders who are going to address that challenge, because it is a catastrophe in this country. If you have a young population and that young population does not have what to do, if for example you have dogs, I'm sorry to use that word in quotes, and you don't give these dogs what to eat, and they become hungry, the only option which is left, the dogs are going to eat you. So it's very important as the youth, if we are unemployed, then we look for leaders who are going to help us to be able to work on two issues, like coming up with different hubs, factories, and also be able to curb this problem. We are also looking at, as the stakeholders, we look at the health sector. Yes, as the voters, this is a time, and this election is going to be a little bit different from 2021. This time round, people want to vote leaders based on their ideologies and principles. What can you be able to help these people out there in society? So Ugandans, we should come out of slogans. That's why I always tell people that we should vote leaders based on their cognitive capacity. Based on their reasoning, on their judgment, on what these leaders are capable for. If we reach that level, and this is actually the right time for this kind of program, because the country is heading into that. So as citizens, they are looking at healthy. Are they going to have affordable healthy? Are they going to have health insurance, whereby at least every Ugandan can access healthy at a very affordable cost? And are the government hospitals going to have this medicine? If they have been having it, how are they going to improve? So we are looking at infrastructure development as the citizens, as the stakeholders. These are some of the things psychologically which are going to influence the elections. So we are looking as the stakeholders from the electorates. We are looking at the infrastructure development, the road system. If we look at Uganda and the other countries, for example, how do we compare our infrastructure vis-a-vis our budget allocation over that? So we are looking at leaders who are going to shape that infrastructure development. We are also looking at leaders who are going to carve out health, who are going to work on the problem of health, ensuring that all Ugandans can access affordable health. We are also looking at things to do with unemployment, whereby a lot of people are graduating these days, but they don't have what to do. We are looking at leaders who are going to shape our education, whereby our education should focus very much onto skill development rather than theoretical knowledge that the students are getting, whereby you are going to get 10,000 people graduating, 20,000 people, but few have practical knowledge and skills. So the Uganda we want is going to be determined, most of it, by us, the voters, actually not even by the politicians, because as a country we have been given an opportunity to decide which type of leader that we have. So at this moment in time, if we make a poor governance choice as leaders, if we make a decision that is just based on slogans and other things, then we are likely to have leaders who reflect what we are. So at the moment, I believe that we need to look at that. Then we also have other challenges. For example, we need to look at, we need to vote leaders who are going to strengthen our security. You understand that at least as a country, we are not doing bad in terms of security.
Okay, I think that's the one key thing that we have really succeeded.
Yes, because for me, I've had an opportunity of traveling to more than 10 countries at the moment. But I have observed it that if it comes, let's say, for example, the East African region, our security is highly respected. So that one is not something that we should not joke around with. So we are looking at leaders who are going to protect what we have and also be able to give us something that is going to take the country forward. So the governance choices that we are going to make as a country, as citizens, it is going to also influence our future as a country. We are also, I've talked about also the need to understand that that disagreements should not bring out violence. If you agree, you should agree as a leader, as a politician, as someone who is going to lead society. You should agree and disagree basing on principles. I've always told people that in politics, it is you're supposed to agree and disagree on principles, and we don't have permanent enemies in politics because this is something that has to deal with ideologies and principles. So if let's say, for example, even opposing, you oppose on principles, not everything that is going to be opposed. So we are looking at a system of administration, a country whereby the opposition and the ruling system or the ruling government, they can sit on a round table and discuss matters which are moving Uganda forward. So there's a lot that stakeholders are looking at, and basically those are some of the things that are going to play in these elections.
Talking about the principles, someone would want to understand what kind of principles should guide the governing decisions, because I think most of the times we have seen the public opinions being divided. So what kind of principles should this be that can help in governing the decisions that are being made?
One, we can look at justice. So justice is a principle which is an interplay. So if a government is advocating for justice and the opposition is also advocating for justice, then they can agree on that. That's a principle. So it doesn't, if I'm the opposition, I'm the government, I cannot disagree on something which a matter which involves justice to Ugandans. So justice is one of the principles. So as we are heading to the elections, we need to see leaders who can agree upon this principle like justice. If the Ugandans are supposed to get justice, it is justice. Whether in government, whether in opposition, it is justice. Then we look at equity. It's also very another principle that should be looked at. Ugandans are equal. This country is for Ugandans. So we are looking at a leader who is not going to divide Uganda. We are looking at a leader who is going to become a unifying factor to bring all the tribes that we have in this country and all the resources that we have in this country to be shared evenly and equally. Every Ugandan must be treated equal because we are all equal. Uganda is for all Ugandans according to the constitution of this country. So as that is also another principle. Accountability is also another principle in leadership, whereby I do not expect to vote in a leader who is just going to joke around with the accountability. When we look at, let's say, for example, members of parliament, can you be able to, discuss, analyze, come up with proper accountability, put the government in checks and balances? That is the kind of leader that when I'm going to vote on Thursday that I'm going to vote for. So as a country, as stakeholders, I have said that as voters, we actually play a big role. If you vote a leader who cannot put government checks and balance, ask the government to bring accountability upon certain things, then do not expect better life in the next 5 years. So I believe that both the opposition and the government, they can agree upon certain things which can move this country forward. But that one cannot be done except by the voters. If you vote based on slogans, we have something called hypothesis. Hypothesis is something which is not touchable. It is not a factual, it is not a reality. So the question is, as a voter, because a voter is a major stakeholder, are you going to vote a leader? Do you understand, first of all, that your future as a Ugandan is thoroughly determined very much by the type of leader that you're going to vote? So that is one of the principles that you have to look at as you're going to elect these leaders.
The principle of justice, I think, is one of the most crucial things that we have seen most of the opposition party decrying about it. And as for you being one of the stakeholders, also having this knowledge about the politics. I think you've had so many cases happening on this opposition part. For example, the NUP party. Hasn't the government gone against this principle of justice? You can find out that most of the opposition leaders are passing through certain things, and this word has not been emphasized so much.
As I say, that is why I said that if we are voting leaders, we need to vote leaders who call in justice. You know, who need to because it's a principle of leadership.
Yeah.
So I do not really believe in injustice of any kind that is put at anyone.
Yeah.
So for me, I believe that justice, I cannot rule out and say a certain political party has because I don't understand the case. So the moment we have courts of law, then we leave the justice to be enforced by the courts of law, because we have a lot of people who are supposed to enforce justice. We have got the police, we have got the army, we have got different security agencies, we have got the courts of law. So these are some of the things that I expect to do what? To bring justice, because that is their docket. So you cannot be a dancer and then you go and operate a person as a surgeon.
Yes. So
we believe that every person who is supposed to be put in any department is supposed to operate what he's supposed to do. Because at the end of the day, if you do not, let me tell you, if you do not give justice to people, as the law says, the law will also catch you up.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I'm telling you.
That's true.
So because we have seen people, we have just seen Nicolas Maduro.
Yeah.
He has been a president of Venezuela, but he was picked like a chicken thief. What does that one mean? It means that he was not offering justice to people. People were celebrating and doing whatever. So, but he also was caught with justice. So if someone just decides not to participate also or enforce justice, at the end of the day, he will also be caught by the law. So, but what I pray for as a Ugandan, as a voter, is that the person that I'm putting in leadership, or I'm trusting with leadership, can be able to put reasonable pressure to these people to make sure that they can do what? They can bring justice forward. Because I'm telling you, as a Ugandan, maybe I'm a farmer, maybe I'm a border rider, I don't have that forum that is going to speak about this justice. So the leader that I'm going to send is the person who is supposed to stand, because the leader doesn't have the same immunity with me.
Yeah.
So there are some leaders, when they speak, they can listen to them.
Sure.
There are others, when they speak, they cannot listen to them. So it means that the leader that you are voting, you are equipping him. I want to tell voters out there, or people out there, that the voters, the leaders, like for example the parliamentarians, their role is not to give you money. I'm telling you, Nzijamu, local language. This is where we are going wrong as a country.
Yes.
You go out there to the voters. I've been following this, even when I've not been participating.
Okay.
If in Uganda, I one time I had a thought of contesting up country where I come from, in Western Uganda, and someone told me to win this election, you need about 2 billion EGX.
To give it away to the people.
To win the
election.
Yes, I asked him, what is the use of 2 billion EGX? I am here, I have the knowledge and everything which is needed to represent my people. He said, no. If you have 2 billion UGX and you move through this constituents, house per house, give them this amount, wait to be declared a winner. So imagine, because someone has money, is going to give you money, just small money which cannot sustain even 2 weeks. You are going to sell out your future. You're selling out your health, the employment to your children, the quality education, the infrastructure. You see, a lot of things, that the security and so many other things. So
I think also Ugandans also they need money, because if a member of parliament who is aspiring to be in parliament, maybe from Mukono district, comes into that area, of course the mindset of Ugandans, they consider money because that's how they're going to vote for you. I think this thing has been in us for quite a long time, and seeing this with the NRM party, because NRM has most of the times used money to so that they take over these positions. One that happened in Busia district, I won't mention the minister, but that happened. He went across the village giving away some money to ensure that he wins the vote during the primaries, the NRM primaries that happened recently, this I think in 2025. So how does this show a picture to the viewers who are out there?
Well, first, one of the cancer, I call it cancer, that is going to spoil our country's politics, is monetarization of politics.
Okay.
I believe that sometime back, even the president came up and was discouraging monetarization of politics. Because if you put money, you inject billions of money in elections, then it loses meaning. We are going to end up getting comedians in parliament. People who cannot articulate issues simply because they gave in money. So it is wrong and it must be condemned in this country for the leaders to monetize politics. Because at the end of the day, what happens to a brilliant lady like you that has ideas but you lack finances?
Can imagine.
It means we don't have a fair playground.
Yeah.
So this is a vice. That's why I said that we should vote leaders who do not tolerate corruption.
Sure.
I would love to see a leader who comes up and says that in the first 1 year of my administration, whoever stole government fund will be arrested for 5 years.
Okay.
If you steal government money, if you have ever taken any money which does not belong to you, you are going to face the law. So you see, some leaders we don't appreciate. We appreciate them over time. Like for example, our former president Idi Amin.
Yeah.
He was a no-nonsense man. You steal the taxpayers' money, you face the repercussions. So because at the end of the day, as a country, we cannot develop with people who are stealing money.
Yes.
You eat what you're supposed to eat and leave the taxpayers' money. Because people are going to be crying because of increasing taxes. People cannot afford education. People cannot afford health. And for you, with your one family, you are making yourself billionaire. So at the end of the day, you are going to use this money to go and give the voters. Because it is the cognitive structure, their mind. We have something called a mind. This mind has something called communication signals, which are called receptors and neurons. So because it is what you have fed your mind, remember, according to psychology, you become what you become what you think. If what you put in your mind is what you become. So people have believed that consistently for me to give, because at the end of the day, even the leaders we vote, they don't perform, they don't do anything. So people say, you rather give me my thing in Zijamo, ebisigadde weyiye. Yes, but at the end of the day, that is totally wrong. It gives us half-baked leaders who cannot transform this country. Because I'm telling you, I have traveled, I've gone to some neighboring countries there. When I reach there, I feel like crying as a Ugandan. I see our leaders, MPs, what do they see? Do they admire? All the things.
Allow us to get into a quick commercial break. Yes, viewers, we are looking at governing choices, stakeholders, and citizens' views ahead of the elections. You have heard it all. However, we are coming back with more of the conversation with Mr. Slight in this beautiful coffee break. Stay tuned.
This is Church of Uganda Family TV. Enriching lives. Regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission. This is Church of Uganda Family TV. Enriching lives. Regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission.
Right, and welcome back from the quick commercial break. The talk of the day, we are looking at governing choices, stakeholders and citizens' views on the upcoming elections happening the coming week on Thursday the 15th. Of course, we are going to elect our president, the next president, and of course members of parliament, also ones, wherever they're going to be. Our viewers out there, it's really important to know who are you going to vote, the leader of integrity or the leader who's going to ensure that your health services, education, whatever it could be, it's really dealt with. Right about now, we want to look at what are the citizens really saying today that political leaders may not be hearing. Mr. Slide. In the first segment, you told us the engagement you have so far, maybe looked into moving to different places, not only in Uganda, but now let us look at Uganda, the citizens of Uganda. What are they really saying today that political leaders are not really hearing?
Okay, thank you very much. Now, the first thing that a lot of people are saying in Uganda that leaders are not hearing is that people are tired of slogans. People are tired of slogans and unrealistic promises. So that one is one of the things that people are tired of, telling them this and this, and at the end of the day, they are not being caught up. So as we are heading for these elections, we are likely to see that numbers of members of parliament, leadership from all angles, a lot of it is going to change, because this is the first election that is going to be shaped by ideas, by capabilities. So also the other thing that people are saying is that people are tired of voting leaders based on party affiliation. Because now political parties, they are deciding for people, leaders who are incapable.
Can imagine.
I'm telling you, we have seen it in the last election, whereby they give you a leader, he reaches parliament, is almost like a comedian. Some of them, they vacate even their constituencies. So now people are saying, even if you as a political party, you decide through your party primaries, if you're conducting them, if you're not, you are giving people flag, even if you decide, these people also use their filtration, and they are going to filter these leaders to meet their needs and demands. Because at the end of the day, during last election, people voted in leaders based on the parties, based on party loyalty. And they ended up getting disappointed totally, hands down. So now what I have heard majority from the community is that people are saying, no, even if this one was given the flag, even if this one got the party flag card, now I want to vote leader based on this and this. This is very good, because it shows that we are developing as democracy. Our democracy is developing, and also the voter apathy is reducing. So I've also realized that I predict that this time we are going to have a higher voter turnout compared to last time, because last time we had COVID-19 and the candidates, they were not able to move to expose their capabilities to our communities. But now there's been an opportunity whereby at least every candidate has been given that opportune moment to go and speak to people. So now people have had an opportunity to judge these leaders based on their capabilities and manifestos. We have also seen it often on social media, TikTok, where people are saying, hey, I mean, what are you telling us? Certain candidates, whenever they speak, they speak about certain candidates only, personalities. It's very wrong in politics and leadership to tag your campaign manifesto on a certain individual. So it's better that whenever you get an opportunity as a leader, you expose your manifesto, what you're going to see, what you're going to do for Ugandans. How do you see the future of Uganda? So that at least the Ugandans who are listening to you can be able to say that, hey, if we entrust this leader with leadership, then at the end of the day, we are likely to get a better Uganda that they are promising us. So leaders, they are really, then also, that is also one of the things that people are tired of. Most of the presidential candidates, their manifestos were not heart winning. I want to tell you the truth. Most of the presidential candidates, you look at the manifesto and you wonder, leaders, they reach the time they cannot even defend their manifesto. You cannot tell Ugandans that in our first 6 months, if let's say for example you want to become the president of this country, in our first 6 to 1 year, our first year plan, we are going to do this and this. We are going to have tax holidays on this and this. We are going to reduce taxes. We are going to create private government facilities, like for example, we shall come up with factories to employ the youth, to curb the unemployment. Okay. We are going, let's say for example, to cut on the foreign doctors that are coming in the country and only allow East African doctors to come in Uganda, especially, let's say for example, those that are coming from abroad. Okay. They can only be given license to operate in Uganda if they do not have the skills. If Ugandans do not have the skills that they are coming with, it's very important because at the end of the day, you are trying to curb out unemployment and also maximizing the skills of Ugandans, because we have a lot of specialists here, but because someone is from Germany, is from China, he comes here and then is given too much money to do something that you can do here. So we said no, as Ugandans, this is where we want to take you. So if you do that, then a Ugandan out there who is paying school fees for his child is going to be like, wow, I think if we vote in this government, my child has a job. Yes. If you say, for example, we are going to do this for security, how are you going to what is your geopolitics plan, regional integration? How do you plan to push Uganda to have a common market in East Africa? You see, a lot of people in Uganda, when you look at our import and export, you need to let us know as laymen, how do you plan to improve on our export, not import? Because the more that we import in the country, the less that we earn as a country on our foreign revenue. So you need to tell us that Ugandans, they have coffee. This is what we are going to do to be able to add what we call value addition on the coffee for Ugandans. So that at the end of the day, when we do add value addition, if let's say for example 1 kg of coffee, let's say for example it is how much is 1 kg of coffee?
Of coffee, I think it's the amount of money is kind of unpredictable.
Okay, so let's assume that I would say maybe like $5 or $3 or $2. Now, when we add the value addition, then the unprocessed coffee, this raw material that we have, if you're selling it at $4, $5, if Uganda can invest in having this coffee added value on before it leaves the country, and we send finished products to countries like USA, Kenya, Tanzania, 1 kg, it can move from $3 or $2 to even about $45. Did you know that?
It can.
As we speak, Uganda is one of the countries that have high quality coffee. But if you look at the revenue that comes from coffee, it's German that is benefiting much. It's making billions of dollars. Why? German has less coffee, but it adds value addition. So how do we add value addition on our coffee and other commodities? How do we tap into other foreign markets for Ugandan goods? So tell us that in the first 2 years in our administration as a government, we are going to make sure that Ugandans get what we call foreign market. We shall push for East African integration, whereby Ugandans can cross to Kenya and Tanzania even without need of national IDs to first verify, because this is East Africa. We are separated by colonial borders. So we have some things that are on high demand in Kenya. Like for example, when you look at Kenya, we have like for example sweet potatoes. We have avocados. Did you know that avocado in Uganda is not on high demand at the moment, but in Kenya, if you push it to Kenyan market, it's a lot of money.
That's right.
There's a lot of money in avocados, in sweet potatoes. So how do we push for East African integration, whereby when it comes to trade, Ugandans are well pressed. When it comes to security, regional security, we cannot have any threat. Like for example, what happened to Venezuela, it should be a wake-up call to the leaders who are going there. I need to see a leader discussing this. If at any one time one of our leaders in East Africa is under threat, how does the East African community come up to offer shield and protection to this leader? For example, how do we as a country push for East African integration and have one unified army, the army of East Africa, the East African currency? Because this was already started by leaders like Julius Nyerere Kambarage and Mzee Jomo Kenyatta and Dr. Milton Obote. But where they stopped from, Mzee Yoweri Museveni has been trying to push for the East African integration. Because if you are a bloc, you can be able to really do a lot of things. So I need to see leaders saying, okay, our country as Uganda, this is how we are going to contribute on the development of Africa. Because let me tell you something. In Africa, we are like 1.5 billion people. But then USA has only 300 million people. When you look at our total budget as Africa, it's about $4.5 trillion. But when you look at United States of America, only one country, the total amount of money that the USA has as only one country is over $30 trillion. It is shocking. One country, 300 million, $30 trillion. But our viewers can go and make research. Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, and all other African countries not up to $5 trillion. So how do you expect? And Africa has over 54 countries.
Okay. So
how do you expect Africa to defeat Americans in terms of global trade, security, and other things? So it means that, but if we have a leader, let's say for example, who is going to come in with ideologies, place Uganda to be able to work with other countries and see how they can push for better Africa. At the end of the day, we are going to be well placed. We are going to develop, even if we don't hit the target right now. Yes. Let's look at the GDP, the gross domestic product per household. You see, in Uganda, it's about 1,100 US dollars. In America, just GDP, one household is about $140,000. So see, this is like 3.8 million, but there it's about 380 million per person.
Imagine.
So it means that as a country, but the question is, how can we reach there? We have seen countries like Singapore. These were very broke countries, my friend. They didn't have money, but because of leadership, leaders who are going to say, look, the government cannot do it alone. As citizens, let us put our hands together and push. Look at the countries like Burkina Faso when they got their leader. He said, look, as a government, we cannot do it alone, but if we combine as a leader, if we have solidarity and unity as a country, and we put our talents, our knowledge together, and use available resources without corruption, we can be able to build a Uganda that is going to be like Singapore. So, but if that one is not in a leader and you are simply talking about usual things, you don't even present those usual things, I don't think that you deserve to be voted in as a leader. So our governance entirely is going to be depending on what we call informed choices, but these choices should start with the voters. Yes, I don't always blame even me, the leaders, by the way. No. Before I blame the leader, I ask myself, my contribution. Like for me, I'm going to, me, I'm a voter of Entebbe municipality. That's why I vote for. Very early in the morning by 7 a.m., I'm going to be at the polling station. Even I'll put money to go there. I'll pay transport from my home to the station. Why? The polling station. Why? Someone asked me, you man, you like to vote very much. How can you even pay transport to go to your polling station? I said, it's because I understand the power of these votes that we are going to conduct, or the power of voting. So I encourage every Ugandan to come out of your house. You go and vote your leaders, because once we vote leaders and vote only credible and competent leaders who can deliver, I am telling you, the facts are bitter. Uganda was not like this today.
It wasn't.
Yes. Uganda was like an isolated island. In 1986, Uganda had a total population of 11 million people.
11. Wow.
As we speak, Uganda has a total population of 45 million people, as per the census. When we look at the level of education from 1986 up to today, Ugandans are educated. When you look at our regional security, at least we have reached somewhere. So, I don't believe in leaders who like to blame. No. Blame games are one of the factors that are going to affect the quality of leaders we get. I like leaders who appreciate what the current government has done, but put up a plan to improve on what has been done. Because you cannot come out as a leader really that is educated, a leader who understands the global dynamics of leadership and geopolitics, and you say that this government has done nothing. No.
There is a problem.
It's a problem. It means that even you, when you get an opportunity to serve, you'll be criticized in the same way. But you put checks and balance, offer alternative. The role of the opposition is to offer alternative policies to the government, and you put the government in checks and balance. So me, I cannot vote a leader as a citizen, as a stakeholder, who is just going to go in parliament to just bang the table without, okay, you are saying this, but what is the alternative?
But the disagreements, we always see them happening, but of course, the end of it, we need resolutions to them.
Yes.
As you've said about
Yes,
that.
and disagreements should not result into violence.
Yeah.
But our African political mindset or Ugandan mindset, people believe, to be honest, that if you are opposing or you are in government, you have to be parallel.
That's what they think.
No.
Yeah.
That's why I can give you an example of Kenya, because we are in the same region.
Yes,
The former, the late Right Honorable Amoro Leilo Odinga, he participated in almost 5 elections. He lost all of them, but he worked with all the governments.
Interesting.
Yes, today when you go to Nairobi Highway and Thika, when you reach there, you can think maybe you're in Europe.
Yeah.
But he's the brain behind all the
it.
constructions and developments of the infrastructure in Kenya.
Yeah.
But he was in the opposition. When he passed away, he was given a state burial.
Can imagine.
He was given a state funeral. He was respected almost more than a president.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Because he understood that his heart was entirely Kenyan. So I want to see leaders, or the people out there want to see leaders whose hearts are entirely Ugandan. That's why I do not agree with someone who speaks about violence.
Yeah.
Because we have seen what is happening in other countries that have gone into violence. You cannot burn what you have. You have a small house, let's say for example of 20 million UGX,
Yes.
and you disagree with your husband and you burn your house. Tomorrow where are you going to sleep? So it's better,
For a different
yes,
way.
it's better as we are heading to these elections, let us protect the little that we have as a country.
Yes.
Because even to get that little is not a joke.
Oh, yeah.
There are countries where when I visited, I'm sorry to use this word, Burundi. When I visited to Burundi, I reached at an airport. It's called Everest Ndadaye International Airport. It's their airport. It was in 2022. I had some business that took me there, but when I reached in Burundi at the airport, I almost lost interest in continuing with my journey.
Oh.
When I landed at the airport only,
Okay.
oh my God, it was like a playground.
Oh.
But international airport. So the country, no forex bureau in that country. The people are extremely suffering. Nothing like fuel. All the cars are parked in the country, but their president is highly respected.
Yeah.
When you go to Congo and you pass here in Kasense, you go to Kasidi, you go to Butembo, you go to Beni, my friend, you come back here, you go to Ituri and these places, you come back and think Uganda is heaven. So it is true we have not reached somewhere.
Yes, somewhere.
And we encourage our leaders that we are voting and those that are serving to improve on the employment, because Ugandans, a lot of them, they don't have jobs. To encourage skill, because even if they say we are putting jobs, most of the jobs which can curb the problem of unemployment, it will be coming up with skill hubs, whereby the children are studying, knowing what they are going to do. Let children, if it's journalism, you've seen someone is good in journalism, let that person practice from the early age. If someone is good in carpentry, if someone is good in mechanics, all the things we can come up with them. So skill development, and I appreciate, because I've seen the government trying to push the skill initiative, the girl child skill initiative. So let us focus our syllabus, our level, our education should not be theoretical, it should be practical. So you see, when you're planning for a country, you don't plan for a country for 2 years or 3 years. We plan for 20 years from now. How will Uganda look like? So if you're saying I'm a leader, I'm going to talk about Uganda for 5 years, you're not looking at your children. You're not looking at your grandchildren. So a country is projected in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. Dubai, Uganda, do you know that Uganda has ever given aid to Dubai?
Yes.
It's factual.
Yes.
But when I reached in Dubai, I couldn't believe my eyes. My first time to travel to United Arab Emirates, I went. I didn't even know that the country was hot most of the times. I went with my coat, well dressed. When I was coming out of the flight, people were wondering, this guy is from which village? But when I looked in Dubai, Shiraj, where I was like, oh my God, in Uganda, most of the people are broke. So as a country, we need to work, all of us together. We have not reached anywhere. Because the cars that I was seeing ministers driving in Africa, they were working as taxi. They were the cars that I was boarding for taxi.
Wow.
As like, it means that my country is really, I couldn't believe, because I told the people, these cars in my country, I fear them. It's ministers, it's MPs who are driving them. But they were telling me, please, this is taxi taking you to your hotel.
Wow.
Radisson Hotel, Blue Hotel is where I used to sleep for 1 week. So I travel. I travel. It's good also to travel.
To travel and see.
Yes, even if it's different districts, even if different countries, you get a comparison to understand where a country should go.
Yeah.
So we are looking at leaders that are Ugandan. We are looking at Pan-Africanism.
Yes.
Leaders who love their Africa. I don't wish to see a leaders or voters or stakeholders. We don't need to see leaders who are promoting neocolonialism, because we are colonized by these whites for so many years. They grabbed our land. Our ancestors, our parents suffered, great-grandparents suffered in their hands. So I don't like a leader as a person who worships the whites. No. That's why one of my role models is Ibrahim Traore from Burkina Faso. Okay. Why? He's a leader who is a Burkinabe. He believes in Burkina Faso. He believes that you and I can do something. So it is me. I like to see a leader coming to ask me the vote and say, you know what, as Ugandans, this and this. But not to look at Americans as demigod. I saw even some people flagging the flags of the US like this, that please carry the flag of the US. US to do what?
Can't imagine.
Uganda is for Ugandans. It is us Ugandans to wake up with the kind of leaders that we vote to build our country, so that people who are going to be there in 100 years' time can recall and speak about our names and say, you know what, we had leaders. Okay. Even leaders, like for example, I have seen this, most of the MPs, I want to quote about this. They say, we are fighting the current government. We want them to leave leadership because of overstaying power.
The change you're talking about.
We want change. Yeah. But change starts with you.
Sure.
We have seen MPs who have been in parliament for 15 years. Yes. What are you doing there? So you cannot preach something as a leader that you do not participate in. If you have been in parliament for 15 years as a member of parliament, vacate that office.
Vacate. And allow someone else to occupy.
And allow someone else
to occupy this.
Bring new brains.
Yes.
But you are seated on talents,
I know,
on education,
yes,
on people's hope, on a better Uganda, and you are saying you are not going to vote the current government because it has over been in power. So you are practicing something, but you are doing exactly the same. Yeah. I will not mention one leader. I was informed yesterday around the Kazangola there. He was looking for elections, but he was humiliated. Even boys wanted to slap him. Okay. But he's a big leader contesting for mayor position. Wow. Because people said, for you, we are tired of you. You have been here for so much.
They want change.
They want change.
Yes.
So it is very important before you talk about the regime and say these guys have been in leadership for so long. For you, how long? A member of parliament shouldn't have gone beyond 10 years.
Yeah.
So if you say, okay, this is what we want to apply from the president up to all levels, no problem, let's apply it. But even you yourself, after 10 years, two terms, leave the leadership of the country, of the constituents. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, when you overstay in an area, even the best dancer must leave the floor.
Oh, yes.
So I want to encourage leaders that as we are going for these elections, please, let's vote, but let's vote with our brains. Let's understand that the Uganda we want is going to be shaped with us. Okay. Number two, everyone should understand that if you sleep as a Ugandan today, you wake up as a Ugandan tomorrow. So me as a Ugandan, I do not benefit in destroying anything. I do not believe in violence. Why? Because Uganda is bigger than anyone.
Yes.
So I believe in a philosophy whereby leaders should shape society, leaders should shape the country they want. Leaders are a reflection of their society. Yes.
Great. Thank you so much, Mr. Slide Gamkama. Yes.
Can I send greetings to a few people?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
so I believe that there's a lot of people who are watching Family TV right now because I told them, and I want to thank this station.
Okay.
You're doing a very, very fantastic job because you are helping society. You are helping people. So we appreciate this channel. I want to send greetings to, there is a lady, my mother is called Hajat Chiza Amina. Is watching this show. I told her to be there. I want also to send greetings to my wife. She's also there watching. She's called Nachide. Also my son Gamukama is also watching. I want to send also greetings to my sisters, to my friends. There is a very big journalist who likes this show. He's called Douglas Kesegawa. So there's a lot of people. I send greetings to everyone, all Ugandans, please. Let us turn out and vote in big numbers. I have seen the Electoral Commission coming up to tell people, please, when you finish to vote, go back. No, that's not what the Constitution says. The Constitution says you can keep 20 meters away from the polling area.
You have to protect your vote.
Yes, so so please, we are going to follow the Constitution. If the Constitution says 20 meters, please be there, but be there calmly. Don't disorganize anything, because if you disorganize anything and you try to cause chaos, they can use that as an advantage over you. But let us do what the Constitution says. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Slade. He has not advised you to protect your vote, but keep the meters that the Electoral Commission
what the Constitution
has said. Yes, thank you so much. Yes,
not what the Electoral Commission has, what the Constitution says.
Oh, the same, of course. You shall apply onto that. But thank you so much for the grateful conversation you have shared with us. Ladies and gentlemen, the choice is in your hand to ensure that you vote leaders of integrity as the NRM presidential candidate. His Excellency the President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni always said whenever he was carrying out his rallies in different districts that you are voting leaders who are not going to, who are doing things in a different way. That's why you have been complaining of accountabilities, in accountabilities, your circles, some circles not getting money, whereby leaders who are into the circles are diverting this money into other things. So the same round, I hope his call has awakened us to vote again leaders who are going to give you accountability and to ensure that your future it is bright. My name is Rita Nandera. On the 15th Thursday, go to your polling stations and vote rightly. After voting, keep your peace. We want stability, unity, and oneness in these elections. See you then. Bye-bye.
This is